What up? What up? What up? This Ibn Web Quran Sum here. Official thing I got going on here. This here was truly a blessing here. These gentlemen are about to come on here. The reason, probably the main reason why I did this, told me to jump in and either sink or swim and just have some fun with it. Just go ahead and do it here. Well, I don't know if they want me to give up their governments, but professional Sutton and Rucker report here. Marquette Sutton and Deshaun Rucker here. Two gentlemen that I'm very, very, very fond of and appreciative of. I'm making up words as we're talking. But like I said, I'm just happy, like I said, to have them in my life and actually just be folks that I could just chop it over with, talk with, or whatever the case may be, whenever, however it goes down here. So looking forward to just talking to them for a little bit here. We just gonna get to it. Hold tight. Do I just keep it Rucker Report, professional Sutton? That's how I'm keeping this?
However you want to do it, man. Listen.
Nah. I appreciate this, man. I know this is way, way, way overdue here on this side of things here, and I appreciate you guys just taking some time out with this here, just to talk for a minute, what have you here. First and foremost here, I'll probably say it at the end, but I'll say it now too, just as far as just thanking you guys. I mean, obviously, I just remember when I was mulling this idea to just do this and give it a shot or what have you. I mean, y'all was just like, basically, hey, just jump in and then figure it out from there. And that's pretty much what I've been doing and continue to do here. So I owe you guys like the biggest of thank yous. So I definitely just want to make sure I say that. How you think this thing's been going that I've been trying to do here?
Oh man, it's great. How you like it? How do you like it?
Nah, I think to your point, I think it's a great thing. I mean, it's a cool outlet, and I think it's one of those things here because, like I said, I ain't the biggest talker in the world, so like just to kind of get folks on here. But I think every time I get off, it hasn't been one time like, damn, I shouldn't spoke to this person or that person or what have you. So everything's been meaningful, to be honest with you.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, let me ask you guys, as far as in regards to starting your whole thing, like how did y'all just decide to just do it? And bottom line, how did y'all decide to do it?
So 2015, I didn't even know what a podcast was. I was calling a radio show.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yo, I got to do something because I just wanted to defend my two favorite people, LeBron and Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
So put it together. I was like, yo, I'm tired of people talking junk. So, and typing on Twitter and Facebook. I said, yo, let me just buy some equipment and just talk junk. I didn't know what I was doing. Fast forward a few months, and I was like, yo, I need to get somebody else up here. At the time, Ruck, he was busy. So I said, let me get Chris.
Mm-hmm.
But in my back of my mind, I'm like, yo, I would love to get Ruck up here because he well-traversed in sports.
Okay.
So I got Chris. We was doing it. And then I said, yo, I said, one of my dudes, yo, I want to put him on. I said, I don't know how long he can do it for, but let's get him. So anyway, we get Ruck on. It was just perfect because I didn't think it was going to be three people who were going to work like that, but it worked perfectly. So Chris, out of nowhere, he said, yo, we should get Ruck to stay on with us. I said, I'm glad you asked. So he said, I would love for him to stay on, but he live in Jersey though. I said, nah, because his catch line is Jersey.
Yeah.
He thinking that he's still living in Jersey. I said, nah, he wasn't Haven at the time. He was like, oh, that's perfect. And ever since then, Chris and Ruck just been holding me down. And, like I said, without them, there is no Don't Shoot the Messenger podcast. And I tell everybody that, even though I might have started the idea, but they helped the baby grow and they matured it. So, I owe them everything for real.
How's it been? Like, I mean, since then, obviously I got, the 3-man crew here. I mean, that just kind of everybody found their lane, so to speak.
Yeah. It was one of those things where, so for me, I'm like, I love hearing Ruck and Chris talk.
Okay.
So I don't mind doing the directing part and being behind the scenes, and I'll talk a little bit, but I don't know, it's just hanging out with the fellas.
Okay.
I mean, so we, we all parents, we all got lives, but just to be able just to hang out with my boys when I can't come, and it opened up more doors for us, especially for me with the radio, and so it's just been good, and and Ruck, man, he's, like I said, man, wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. Nah, he over there shaking his head, man. You gotta chime in here.
Nah, man, you know him. It's it like he said, it just became like the kind of perfect storm.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody kind of fit into their lane and did their own thing, and it just works. Like, it's
Oh,
more. I feel like I know about sports. I know Chris knows just as much, and Quet does too. But like Quet is the director, the instigator. Chris, me and him can debate points and just go back
Okay.
and forth. So we kind of fall in our lane, and like I said, it just works, man. It feels good. It doesn't feel like we're doing a show. It feels
Okay.
like we really just
Yeah.
like sitting around talking about sports. So I think that's what makes it interesting. The fact that we've kind of done it for a long time, um, and just been in different lanes to talk about sports, how
Mm-hmm.
people didn't expect us
uh-oh.
to. So I remember the first day we started like with like a Super Bowl episode, and it was like we called the score, we called what it was going to be, who
Yeah.
was winning,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt good. So it's always dope.
And one thing that I do love is that a lot of people respect our opinion. So a lot of people always hit us up, say, "Yo, what you think about this? What you think about that?"
Mm-hmm.
One of my good friends, I won't say his name. He works for the mothership, aka ESPN. So he will always throw us somebody like, "Yo, can I talk about this?" On ESPN, you can't talk about certain stuff.
Right.
So during the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, he was like, "Yo, can I talk about this? Can I talk about that?" And he would just tune in like every week. Like he would just throw
Mm-hmm.
us ideas because he's like, "Yo, I love what y'all doing. Don't stop. Please don't stop." So just hearing people, having good things to say about us help keep us going and grinding, man. And like Ruck said, yeah, we love it, man. It's just the perfect storm.
I think
That,
the other dope part is that we don't talk about just sports. Like
mm-hmm.
we'll transition the sports conversation into a culture conversation, into a men's conversation, into a relationship conversation, and I still think it holds the same weight. So, like, I think that's the most exciting part of our show for me is that we can go in any direction that anybody wants to go, and I feel like it still holds the same weight as if we were talking about basketball or football or boxing or something like that.
Nah, it makes sense, man. Like, what is it about sports, man? Like, just kind of like, what is it?
Um,
Man,
well, I mean, sports is it's so universal because you could
Okay.
apply sports to everything, right? Like we all play sports,
Mm-hmm.
even though I didn't play in college, but the lessons that I learned in sports helped me become the better man that I am.
Okay.
And with sports, it's really happens even off the court or off the field. Because when you look at what's going on, when you talk about the owners and general manager in the NFL, it's pretty much kind of like a facade of what you see outside when you talk about America. So a lot of things that in sports, it can help generate, a mindset or a conversation about life. And then on the flip side of that, when you're watching sports, yeah, I mean, the most tragic thing that you might see is like your team lose a Super Bowl, being up 10 points, and the starting quarterback overthrows the receiver. But that's neither here nor there. But
that boy
sports
still hurt.
still hurt.
Still hurt, yo.
But sports bring the best out of people. It's a way to come together. It's a way to transcend conversations, different things, and I mean, it does so much. So
Yeah.
that's why we like sports.
Like for me, I say it all the time. Sports is life. So everything that I feel like I know about life, I feel like came through sports. Just learning how to, not only play and compete, but to, be a brother with somebody that is not necessarily related by blood, to have people that you look up to and you want to model certain things after. It's everything, man. I mean, I can't find a day or a situation just every day in life that I don't think about something that I went through in sports or somebody that I, can relate to through sports. So sports is life to me.
Yeah.
Now, what did y'all play growing up?
I played everything.
You did? Okay.
I played. So when I first started out, I was a chubby fat kid. So I tried to play football, and I was supposed to play Pee Wee, but I ended up playing for the midget, so I ended up quitting. But I always wanted to play. So in middle school football,
Okay.
you can only play if you're in 7th or 8th grade up here. So
now you say up here, what town, what city?
New Haven.
Yeah, okay.
So you couldn't play in the 6th grade. So I played soccer. I was like, all right, well, let me play soccer so I can get ready for football. And that's how I had, was doing that. But growing up, football, baseball, basketball, I even did track. I mean, back then, our age, we did everything because you had to just, you want to be where your friends were. So if again, I wasn't a good basketball player, but my friends played ball, so I played, and it helped me, again, like Ruck said, become a better person. And those relationships that you form is just monumental. I was even on your page, and I saw that y'all had went undefeated when you were like in 8th grade or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, again, those things you will never forget, never ever.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And early on, Deshaun, what was you doing? I mean, I know what you ultimately wound up doing.
Yeah, so I mean, everything early on was the same thing because back at home, like in Orange, everything is so close together between Orange and East Orange, West Orange. So you play everywhere. So I played basketball, of course, which was my first love. Baseball, I tried soccer a little bit. But the craziest thing is probably like my first love after basketball was swimming. Like my mom's had me in Elmwood Park camp, and every summer we swam. So I swam every day. So I love being in the pool. Like Quet, I was the chubby kid, still a chubby kid, the big man. So I couldn't really play football because back then our Pop One up there, everything had a weight limit. So I never played. So I didn't play until my first experience playing organized football was at Immaculate. So I never touched it like that until I got there. But I think football, I found that it was I think I was something that I was naturally kind of good at. But I think that all probably came from everything that I did with basketball and different things like that.
Now, my first love was baseball.
What position you play?
I play outfield, man.
Like
I said, I mean, again, I wasn't the best, but I love baseball. I just love baseball. That's why my uncle taught me how to play first. And I'm a Braves fan, so at that time in the '90s, we was rocking. We had the best pitching staff ever. But I used to always, because Ansonia, if like that's a football town.
Right.
Cousins, they lived in Ansonia, but like Ruck said, like I was always chubby, so I couldn't play until I got to middle school. And that was when I got to middle school. That was their second year of having a New Haven middle school team. So baseball was out. I mean, I still played, but football, I was like, oh, okay, I could do this. And the reason why I love football because my uncle bought me. Remember, Charlie Woodson had the cleats back in '97. There wasn't Charlie Woodson cleats because he was in college, but they was $75. My uncle said, "You better not quit." And he said, "Give it 2 weeks. I promise you, you'll like it."
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And again, I was the chubby kid, but then I started to lose weight. Now I was a smaller kid, but I wasn't fast enough to play running back. So I was on the offensive line. And luckily, I was able to have some skills. Like Chris Gay, he's taller than me, bigger than me, but he was our running back. And I was blocking for him. Go figure, right? But again, it's just the level of football, like, being on the line, like telling the man where he going to go. And this is what I'm going to do to you so we can win. And I just carry that in life,
Yeah. Hold that football thought. Interesting you said baseball. Like that whole Mookie Betts thing, as far as even with the shirt, as far as I'm misquoting him, but the whole need more black people in the stadium. I'm misquoting him, but it's along those lines there, man. Well, I took that out. I thought that was a good thing, man. Like you go around to these parks, and I mean, I don't know what it is now. I mean, we talking attention issues or whatever the case is. I don't know why baseball is not the thing to do anymore.
I think in the inner city, like there's been a more emphasis on basketball and football, right? Like you got basketball camps, you got football camps. Back in the day, you had a guy who had all the bats, all the gloves, and we all played. And it was affordable to play baseball, and you could play all the time because, again, everybody wanted to play. There was always someone trying to teach you. Now, if you're trying to play baseball, it costs thousands of dollars. Like even the leagues that they have now is not conducive to a lot of kids in the inner city, and it's not, trying to market it to them. Now there are some, good programs like in, Connecticut, there's the Bridgeport Tigers where they offset the cost of the AAU league. So you have those, but back in the day, it was like, hey, let's all play. And now it's geared towards other people. And it's just hard because how you going to tell a kid, yo, you should play baseball, but on TV, they see the football, basketball, YouTube, that's what's cool. But we all know where the money is at, baseball.
Yeah.
Again, and just being universal, because now a lot of these kids, they only play one sport, Whereas again, growing up, we played every single thing. We played everything. If it was lacrosse, we would have played that. But a lot of parents are just saying, no, you're only going to focus on one sport, which, as we know, statistically is not good for the body after a while. But that's why, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
I think coaching plays a big part into it now. Like, I think a lot of the coaches that we had, I know growing up back in the day, like, if you played basketball with them, they definitely were associated with a football team, a baseball team, soccer, something like that. So they always gave you an opportunity to kind of get into something else. And they always kind of phrase it, this is where you train to get better at this. So they always made the connection for you. I think the other thing too is that there's a different level of parent involvement now in sports, right? So before, like my mom was just like, all right, let me get them out the house, let me keep them busy. Like now, these parents, and some are all right, some are not, but now they feel like they have to have full involvement. So you get the parents, and I'm sure you've seen the Eb just from reference, like you get the parents that come to the game and they want to coach, and it's like you really ain't never done this before, so how you telling him how to, you know? So it's different, man, and I think that's what steers our kids away from different sports. Like, I know for me, I'm trying to expose mine to any and everything.
Yeah.
Just because I think the more versatile you can be, you can be passionate and good at more than one thing. So I think coaching plays a big part in it, because I know for me, I had some great early coaches.
Yo, that's a good point, because all my coaches, they coach every sport. Like Coach Finney, shout out to Coach Finney, Coach Troy. They was the basketball coach, football coach, and baseball coach. Right. And like Ruck said, a lot of these parents, and again, like you could testify, you're a ref, like they only want their kid to play one sport. It's like, no, you're gonna play football. This your way out. Okay, that's cool, but look at what sports does for you. Like you're going to meet different people, and it's about networking. It's about learning something new that's challenging. Okay, yeah, you might not be able to hit that well, but you work on that. You know, that builds hand-eye coordination for football or for basketball. When you play basketball, yeah, you might not be able to score, but how about the rebounding? How about the defensive side? That's going to help you, you know, with other things. So that's a great point that Ruck was making about that with coaching too.
No, absolutely. I mean, I like me personally, I enjoy switching it up. Like, you know, the seasons. That was me. I enjoyed it. I mean, and again, I never tell nobody how to parent their household, but you do see a change and a shift in regards to everything going on as far as the specialties and the trainer with the kid at the field. I'm like, oh, at the court. I'm like, all right. I mean, again, I just like, all right, that's what works. I mean, but you take away. I think my man, he played multiple sports. So I'm forget the kid that just got drafted first pick by the Magic. I think he played multiple. I think
Paulo played.
Right. I think he's a quarterback. I think he's a quarterback too.
Yeah, he was a quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah. So even the highest of levels, how he competed, man, he still found time to play those other sports as well too. I mean, again, I think for me, I just enjoyed the shift. I just enjoyed changing sports. But we still played the other ones in between games anyway. We'd be at somebody's field or somebody's court, still playing it, regardless if it was, you know, a structured game or not. So
now, just real quick, parents, if you're listening to this, most professional athletes play more than one sport. So, you know, like you having your son play just football, I mean, that's okay. But look at all the top athletes. They all were all state in more than one sport, sometimes three. So I just wanted to put that out there. Deion Sanders, Brian Jordan. I mean, the list goes on. The list goes on.
Allen Iverson, like, go down the list.
Yep. LeBron James.
Your man. Yeah, and it's crazy. You say as you were just sharing that point about baseball being expensive. I'm like, damn, it's more expensive than football. Football, you got all the equipment. Usually with baseball, I mean, I remember playing, you know, organized baseball. There was bats already there for us. I mean, I know nowadays everybody got their own bat and everything else, but it's crazy, as you say, that's more expensive because I'm thinking about football equipment and everything else here, but baseball got it, huh?
Yeah, because you can play baseball all year long. You can play baseball all year long, so you can travel. So being that you don't have that much quote unquote equipment, you know, but you can play it in Florida, Texas, California, even, you know, in Jersey, where it's big in Jersey. So, you know, these people set up these tournaments and you can play baseball doubleheader. You can't play doubleheader in football. Basketball, yeah. but you know, it's
I'm gonna sec you. I'm hold that thought. I played. I mean, again, I usually don't share too much about my life, but I played doubleheader football a couple of times in my life. It was crazy.
I did too. But
Uh,
again, nice.
in prep school, we played. Prep school, we played 2 games and one. We did it a couple of times that season. It
Wow.
crazy. Yeah,
that's
crazy.
an old school right there.
Yeah, yeah.
What year was this?
Yeah, we going back 92.
Oh yeah, this is a different time right there.
Yeah. We played like we played like two. We did that, I think, a couple of weekends we did that. Crazy.
Woo.
Man.
But go ahead, my apologies. I just wanted
No,
to
because I was gonna ask you about that. Because I was gonna ask you about that, and I know it's your show, but like, how has sports changed for you? Because like I said, growing up, like y'all played, like I heard the stories, y'all just played. Like y'all, it wasn't, you know, you had a team, but how was it, you know, versus then, you know, versus now?
I think now to your point, you talk about the individualism and the specialties and everything. Back then, we just played. I think we just played. I think for me, it was just had an opportunity to compete, just like you in New Haven. You got heads from West Haven, East Haven. Everybody know everybody. I mean, we didn't even need the internet or none of that shit. I mean, everybody still knew everybody back then. So I think just the, you know, whether it's bragging rights around the way or just in the area, what have you, everybody played, and you know, that's how we kind of looked at it, man. Particularly myself here. You know, you just wanted to show and prove wherever you was at.
My last question. Again,
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
You played cornerback and offensive guard when you were young. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You really was digging in that.
Yeah, I was digging.
Yeah. No. Wow. My first position, my first football position, I was a guard. I played linebacker pretty much my whole life. But as far as offensively, when I first started, I was a guard, and then I wound up playing quarterback. I I know we won the town league then, and then that was seventh grade? Seventh grade, I played quarterback. We won title, whatever. But then I went to the eighth grade. Eighth grade was the only travel team. When you made eighth grade, you played the travel team. However, the coach had wanted the seventh grade. Daryl, my man Daryl, and Daryl was special back then, and he wanted Daryl to play quarterback. I went back to the line, but the thing was, it was crazy. That offensive line, two of us wound up playing quarterback in high school, myself and then my man Anthony Walker. We were both guards. I forgot left or right guard. We wound up both playing quarterback in high school. Anthony played quarterback for another league. So yeah, to say that, we just put whoever was talented, as any league would do. You just put whoever's talented, you threw them on the field, man, and we just played, man. Like, I had a blast. I mean, cutting people and everything else. And to your point earlier, when you were just talking about, like, yeah, we about to line up this D tackle up or nose guard up. Oh, I had a blast doing it, man. So, like I said, I always gave love to the line, regardless of me playing quarterback or not. But yeah, that was ill, as far as to your point. And then I played corner. I played corner my eighth grade year. It was crazy. So
now, what was your number? What was it?
I was just about to say that. Actually, me and my man Dyro was on the line too, and he played the other side corner. Dyro was because that's just when the Giants had they run. So we was thinking, I think he had like 53 wanting to be Harry Carson playing corner, and I think I had 58 wanting to be Carl Banks playing corner when they both were linebackers. But yeah, that team, like I said, that was an eighth grade team, man. We ran into. I don't think nobody scored no more than 6 points on us that year, man. We wound up going to Florida and doing what we needed to do down there as well, too, man. So, and to your point, these memories, they last forever.
Look, that's beautiful, man.
Yo, but the one thing he won't tell you is what he was as a quarterback.
I heard that you had that cannon, and you was left-handed too?
No, I was left-handed.
Heard you was nice.
I was all right, man. I was all right.
I
was all right.
So here's the thing, right? And I told you this before, but like, he was the first person I ever seen like with a visor. He had a dark visor, right? So he came out the locker room, and I was like, "Yo, who is that?"
That's funny, man.
I said, "Nah, man, come on." I said, "He the quarterback?" I said, "Yo, this is trouble."
You can't wear no visor no more unless you got doctor's notes.
Man.
Now hold on, didn't you play at Southern too, right?
No, I went to prep school. Then I wound up going to. I just went to school at Southern. I wound up just going to school at Southern. I played in prep school. Actually, I played linebacker in prep school. I did fairly well, and then I was going to play at Southern, but I never played. It was one of those. I was done. I was just kind of. I wasn't. I was tired of the game or what have you. Here, I was just like, yeah, I'm good. But I stayed at Southern, continued to go to school and cheer those guys on.
I heard good things about you, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I had to do my homework too. When you
No, that's funny, man. That's funny, but and it's crazy to your point. Like both y'all said it, man. Like sports, like parallels life, man. Just with everything here. I mean, again, somewhere around the way here, like conversations always lead back to sports or something here. And I know everyone made it. There's levels to it. Those who made it to the highest of levels to professional, but those little 4 years, even folks that played high school, whatever, like think about you're growing up, all the transitions in your life. And again, I don't know everybody's households and everything else, but just everything else that's going on, girls in the fold, you know what I mean? Just everything, man. Like, you know what I mean? So it's really not hard to continue to remember those days, man. Like, man, some things get a little blurry, but and I'm sure for you guys, man, speaking of which, as far as speaking of college, I know I'm assuming nobody wound up playing in college, but just even to be around a college campus and to seeing sports teams, whether it was football, whether it was soccer, whatever the case is, were you guys still able to find time to enjoy like your own school's teams?
Yeah, so I had some opportunities just to be around like the football and basketball team and stuff like that. There were a lot of times, especially with transitions, you try out and different things. And like I know early in football, like spring football, we was a part of that whole mix. But I think what you find out is as you go through sports, you find out not only what you are, but who you could become.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me, what happened in college was I said, you know what, this probably ain't gonna be NFL, NBA, but I could work in it.
Okay.
So I started following it like that. But college was dope, man. And I think even our early experiences with it, especially college sports, you find out quickly that everybody is that dude. So even if you come in with the chip, like you find out very quickly, like, yeah, he that guy too. So it was good, but the competition and everything at every level was great. I think for me, I was fortunate to be a part of a lot of teams that I was on to really burn that competitive edge. So from grade school, going to Our Lady of the Valley, watching that basketball team and some of those guys put together. I'm talking about in elementary school, I don't think we lost a game like maybe like 3 years or something like that. You're talking about those are teams with like Billy Lovett, Andre Adams, Shakai, Ernie, like Eric Yaden, then Immaculate, for us to come behind, you, Jakeem, Rodney, Brian, people like that. And then for us to kind of find our own lane in that and go undefeated and win the championship, again, sports is life. So,
So for me, I didn't play in college, but because I worked out all the time, being a small guy, like me and my roommate, shouts out to Dex, we went to Alabama State. So we stayed in a football dorm, even though we didn't play football. I don't know how, but it happened.
Yeah.
So being that we stayed in a football dorm, we still were working out. So everybody called us UConn. But this one the UConn men and women. So everybody called us UConn.
Yeah.
So they would see us working out. So we were the only non-footballs, athletes. I mean, I say athletes, people that could actually work out with the football team because they seen us work out. Some people, you know how it is when you first get to school, everybody want to work out, and then after a week it dies down. But they kept seeing us. So we took the competitive edge off the field, and we both got 4.0 GPAs because we were still so trained in football. Because in football, like you got to do your homework, you just practice homework. So we were still used to that. And in doing so, we met a lot of people, and people said, "Why don't you play football?" Again, I was like 160. I'm not playing college ball. No lineman, but we gained a lot of people respect because they will always see us running the stairs, working out, and we just had that. And then again, coming from Connecticut, football is not big like it is in Jersey or like anywhere else. So we had to show like, yo, this is how we get down. And to this day, when we talk about rivalry and stuff like that, My school, it's not around, but for the 10-year span, we won 4 championships. So it's always, like you said, that back and forth of, yo, if we would have played y'all, if we would have played y'all. But again, stuff that, you would never, ever, forget. And even if you wasn't quote unquote that dude, but like, Ruck told me about you. So for you, you're a humble guy. Hey man, I just did my thing, but nah, this is how he was. And to see that people had that respect and admiration for you, like I say, even after all of these years, that's what it's about. That's what it's about.
And I just want to add too, man, like Connecticut got a whole ton of talent, man. Like I said, for me to be up here as long as I've been up here, man, like it's been cool to see. I mean, again, I know it's a smaller state or what have you, man, but there's so many people, so many great athletes in the state here, as far as folks, whether high school level, those that went on and did, even more and better things here. But like I said, and you talking even that New Haven area alone, man, where you want to start, pretty much.
Now, how long have you been up here?
93.
So I don't know if you know this guy name, but he is one of, like, I've seen a lot of people in Connecticut, but being that he was a smaller guy, he is one of the best players I've ever seen in my life.
I think I know who you're gonna say, but go ahead.
I wish we had you two back then. He was out of Bristol Central, Tim Washington.
Okay. Oh, actually,
Tim Washington.
He's a quarterback, was it?
Yes.
He's a quarterback, right?
Yes. Okay. He still hold records in the state. If Tim Washington was playing now, or if he had you two back then, he definitely he ended up going to Syracuse. Then he went to UMass, but he's one of the best players I ever played against and I ever seen.
Now, high school wise, you went where? Where did you go for high school?
I went to Hyde.
You went over to Hyde, but even Bristol, just in general, even this year, I think they had the play of the year. Rosa, my man, the kid Rosa got up.
Got the kid that's going to UConn.
Right. Yeah. So now they always kept somebody. Obviously, got the Hernandez brothers.
Yes.
And, everybody else too. But yeah, there was always that somebody every now and then that came through there.
Yeah.
And they got the big boy that's going to UConn, the basketball player.
Yep. And then they had the other dude named his name was Evans. I think his name was I don't want to pronounce. I think it's like Sion Evans. Big bowling ball. But yeah.
You know who I thought you were saying when you said small and everything else? I thought you was going to keep it in New Haven. Thought you was about to say Bobby Moore.
That's what I thought he was going to say too.
Oh, yeah, basketball. But I mean,
I thought you was going to say Bobby.
Oh, yeah. Now, when you're talking about basketball, Bobby Moore is like our old man to go. He is like, you heard the stories and you heard about Jim Calhoun coming to Rockview Circle. Like, again, if he had YouTube, if he had someone that was really like, hey, let me help you, Bobby Moore definitely would have made it in the league. Definitely would have.
No, everybody says that. And actually, I know he's a few years younger than me, but he wound up. I know he bounced around to a few schools, JUCOs and everything. We actually went to the same prep school, up in Maine. So he actually went up to he went up there as far as one of the schools. But you mentioned his name, man. Like I said, it's legendary, man. Legendary.
Yes.
That's why I say even with Connecticut, like whether it's basketball, football, you name it here, like it's so many athletes around here. And again, I could be biased, but I think as time going on, that bias wades a little bit since I've been up here. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm Jersey, to the core, but like I said, I've been in Connecticut long enough to know it got the brim on. But yeah, there's a lot of athletes in Connecticut. It's way too many here.
It's getting better. We are finally getting some recognition. We got kids finally going D1 and getting that, that eye on us, which I do love. So that is, like I said, I'm a CT guy, and I mean, I played against some dudes. Will Collins, who was one of my teammates, he was 6'3". I mean, this guy probably could have been in the NFL. Not probably could have been in the NFL if he had the right guidance. But just so many people that people probably haven't heard of. So much. Even our boy Chris Gay. Gay, highly recruited coming out of high school. But again, like you talking about home life situations. I mean, like I said, he was recruited heavily by Ruckers. Rucker wanted him so bad.
Shout out to Chris Gay.
Yeah, so much talent, man.
And it's crazy just for life in general to go back to that again. And you mentioned your man Chris here. People don't know like what folks got to get to just to make it to the field. You know what I mean? Like to get out their house, to get off their block, just to make it to school, to the field here, man. Like, and even now, obviously, I think with social media and all that, it heightens it up because you see everything. I think a lot of this stuff was going on when we were growing up, but obviously it just wasn't exposed as much.
Mhm.
So I mean, I know everybody have their positions in regards to, oh, is it worse now or when we were growing up? I mean, I always lean to the side of growing up because the same stuff. I think a lot of the stuff was going. It was just hitting. It wasn't on the news 20 seconds later. It wasn't on someone's platform 5 seconds later. But that's just me. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know what you guys think about just kind of life and all this other crazy stuff that's going on, man. How this stuff is like lining up here.
I mean,
I think it's different for these kids now because it's like I was watching the podcast that Kevin Hart did in the conversation he had with Jay-Z, and he was like,
Hmm.
information without understanding is nothing, right? So like the kids nowadays, the information is always at their fingertips. But I think when we had information back in the day, we also had somebody breaking it down for us, kind of giving us, the next steps of it or what it could
Hmm.
lead to, or what to stay away from. So even if we was doing stuff back then that would put us on the news, it was somebody like in between. I was like, yo, like
Yeah.
chill, just relax, do this. So I think it's information, man, and how it's handled nowadays because our kids they get it now, their feeling is they know it. So why I gotta listen to you?
Hmm.
now, I mean, I definitely agree. I think it's different levels. I think back then, like in the 80s, 90s, like people had to figure it out. And, I think that it was still some untapped level of racism. So there wasn't a lot of people to say, hey, Ruck, let me help you out because I already been here. Or someone to say, hey, what are we doing? But I think back then it was still a little bit of that family connection. So
Hmm.
people was able to say, okay, well, we don't know about sports, but we still got that love and, we still are going to, take this and help each other out. But also one thing that rocked our community was crack cocaine.
Yeah.
There's still some, levels of epidemic with the pills and, with the opiates. But I think that the crack cocaine, when you know what it did to the community,
Yeah.
and when you see so many people affected by it, and again, I was a product of New Haven, you know what I mean? Like seeing it. But also again, you had people that wasn't, that were doing, selling, and a lot of them they had to do what they had to do. But it wasn't like, yo, you need to do this. Like, nah, little man, let me get you some sneakers so you can get out of here. Where it's like you're not cool if you haven't sold drugs. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like you haven't
Hmm.
cool if you haven't been to jail. Where back then it was like, nah, this ain't what you want. It was more guidance and information. That's why I feel. But it was tough because I was a product of a kid whose parents was using substances.
Hmm.
Thank God they broke out of it. But so when I got home, I had to grow up quick.
Yeah.
I had to grow up really quick. So sports was a way for me to get away.
Hmm.
So when I went to school, I was happy. When I got home, it was like, here we go again. But even though I knew I wasn't going to the NFL, in my mind I was. Because I said, yo, I got to keep my grades right so I can go to college. But once I realized I wasn't going D1, I was like, but I still got to keep this mentality because you still got to be a good person. So so sports help. That's why I played everything because I wanted to be out of the house. You know what I mean? So that's how it helped me. You know?
Yeah, I think it was different for me in that sense because while we had a lot of stuff going on just where we grew up at, like Orange and East Orange for me, like it was a great sense of community. So it wasn't like you could walk too far away from your house and not know somebody that know your peoples or check you on the corner or something like that.
Hmm.
So I mean, it was there, but I think like Poet was saying, the sense of community and the sense of the people just saying like, listen, I see you out here working. Let's not go that way. You don't have to. I think even just when I think back now, just at high school, just thinking about like Montclair, like I don't know how many kids that we went to school with if that was actually from Montclair. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like people probably grew up around it, but it was like more so everybody was from every other hood. So I think that was the other thing that kind of made it so great, like, or at least made it comfortable. Because for us, like back in the day, there was always a stigma about going to Catholic school. You know what I mean? So it was different, but I mean, everybody was where we was from, so felt good.
You know what? You just real quick, but with that whole neighborhood thing, even the quote unquote gangs, but it wasn't really gang like neighborhoods, like they would protect the basketball games and athletes, right? Like they will put their differences to the side. They can be beefing all week, but when the Hill House and Cross play, like, yo, chill.
Yeah.
You're on your side, I'm on my side. And like you said, a lot of people didn't finish high school, but they had that sense of pride because they went to Hill House for 2 weeks. They went to Cross for 6 months. And it was like, yo, we got to chill. Whatever happened outside, that's cool. But inside here, we got to protect these players. We got to protect our family. And that's what I grew up, and that's what the pride a lot of inner city schools had. You know what I mean? Because it was so amazing that people could really have beef all week. But when it's time to play the rivals, like, hey, yeah, there's a peace treaty. I'll see you next week, though. But, yo, right here, it's sacred. It's family. So, beautiful.
Yeah, and those games is crazy, man. I know they actually moved while I was at Southern. They had them at Southern. They played them at Southern. So like I said, it was just electric just being in there as far as just seeing, the two schools get together here. Yeah. Most definitely here. And I know just with this whole life thing, and as you guys are just talking, I think about, all of that, like it kind of just takes you back to as far as this, again, trying to make it to school. Like I didn't go to a parochial school to high school. You know what I mean? So I think about, times every month was the thing as far as if you didn't pay the tuition, principal send your ass down to the gym with everybody here. I mean, you couldn't pull that off today, like because it'd be like some discrimination or something, lawsuits hit at you. But she'll bring you down to the balcony or to the gym here and just basically be like to go through you to get to the parents. Basically, hey, let your parents know like this money need to get paid or else. But like I said, that wouldn't dare fly today. In regards to that, like I said, a lot of people probably be eating and as far as in regards to that. But so I think about all that stuff as far as even like things my parents done went through, the sacrifices they made, and I think all our parents, whatever other issues here, and I think for me, it was as interesting even during that time was like my parents is like in this heated divorce here, and and looking back, it was like kind of one of those things here where I took it out, whether it's athletically, and I was supposed to probably get kicked out. I was supposed to get kicked out of school my freshman year. I was supposed to be gone. Or like, stuff I ain't necessarily proud of. I mean, like putting hands on people, and whether it was a guy or a female or what have you. Like I was supposed to have been gone. So so I think about all that stuff here. I mean, like I said, I luckily to have some people in my corner, and just like the two of you guys. I mean, we've all had people in our corners here that saw us through those rough patches, man. And I think, like I said, it parallels life. I mean, you mentioned the coaches that coach you in every sport here. They just switch hats or switch polo shirts or whatever the case might have been here, as far as that goes here, man. And I think, the stuff that you two are doing, and also Chris, when you guys just kind of just formed this, like you said, I don't even feel like y'all just chopping it up. Y'all at the spot, y'all just chopping it up. You know what I mean? In regards to this, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this along the way. But it was more or less also just hearing people's walks that I never stuff I never get a chance to learn about him or her or whatever the case is. Like and I always say is like for my everyday heroes, man, like the ones that necessarily don't make the news or don't get too much exposure, whatever. These my heroes. You guys, my heroes, man. Like they said never meet your heroes, but I met a ton of them, every day of my life. You know what I mean? So
it's crazy because like I know he don't like it, like he don't like when I say this quick, but like I know he don't, but so the crazy thing is, right, again, how in Quetch, how it is, and Ib knows this too, like you see people that, and especially for us through sports, and you're like, okay, like that's the mark, like that's the level, that's the person, right? And you pick up things along the way, and it's like, again, and Ib gotta know this, I know deep down inside he do, but it's like it wasn't just him, it was not only the other people that was in his class, but it was more so they taught us how to be. Not even more so about sports, but just how to be, how to make it through that school, how to make it, just in our transitions. And then when it translated to the field, like we took all of that from them. Like, again, I know he hated, but I modeled a lot of what I did after this man right here. You know, like the big brother always needed. But it was dope, man, and it's so dope to see people's not only transition through sports but transition through life, and become the people that they become. Like, who would have thought? Like, from then, he would go away to school, he would go away to college, I would go my way, and then we end up living in the same state. Who would think that we would end up talking on a sports podcast that he's hosting? Like, so it was dope. But shout out to Ed, because I'm telling you, a major role model for me, especially at that time in my life, and just what I felt like I was trying to be as an athlete.
No, that's peace, man. That's peace. I appreciate it, man. And I know we can exchange pleasantries and everything else, but I want to. I'm gonna do a complete switcheroo here. Now that you guys, some newly married, some been married here, how the wives letting y'all just do all this podcast stuff, man? How they letting y'all do this here? Yeah.
Let the new dude go first.
Well, so prior to me meeting my lady, I was already doing this.
Okay.
And I think she already knew my passion for it.
Yeah.
And that's why I love her so much, because she dove face first with me. And she was like, "Oh, is this what you're doing? Then it's what I'm doing too." You know what I mean? So that was a beautiful thing, because when you have someone who is with you and they believe in you, like my brothers, like, it puts the cherry on top. And before her, Ruck, I was with somebody, and it was different, because I was like, nah, this is what I'm gonna do. And it wasn't a lot of support. But years later, having someone, I was like, yo, listen, this is what you're gonna do, then you're gonna have to do 110%. So I love that she is on board also with Ruck's wife, Tara. Like, when we first started out, she's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get the photographer so I can take pictures.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's a family thing. It's a family thing. And I think sometimes Ruck gotta like push me, because I don't like to bother. Like, I know y'all got schedules or work. He's like, yo, so what? It gotta get done. It gotta get done. But that's what I love about it. And again, it's locally. Sometimes you don't realize what you're doing, because for me, we just do it because we love it.
Right.
But it's been a lot of people that have been like, yo, because y'all do your podcast, I've been doing mine. Or, what do you think about this? And fun fact, we have more women that listen to our podcast than men. I think one, because we break everything down. So sometimes we'll be talking, and you'll be like Neon Dion. Now, if you don't watch football, you don't know who that is.
Right.
So when we break stuff down, women like, yo, I like watching our show because I understand what's going on, and then they look up stuff. Whereas a lot of men is like, oh, they saying anything, I could do that. But a lot of women watch our show and in turn get their man to watch. Of course, a lot of them like, whatever, they don't know what they're talking about. But it's always love. Now, maybe people do hate. We have one hater. That's it.
Somebody voiced the hate. How'd y'all find out about this one?
Well, let's just so long story short, we were trying to work with him. We all gonna do like a podcast thing together, and I guess he didn't. Again, I wasn't disagreeing with him. I was like, okay, cool. You do what you do. And I guess he got mad because he didn't like that we were kind of outshining him, but we wasn't doing it on purpose. And out of nowhere, I was like, yo, what happened to such and such? And he just like, oh, I'm not going with that. Okay, cool. And then he just literally started talking like, I can't even, he started talking crazy. Yeah. So I didn't hear it. Ruck and Chris heard it. And they were like, yo, of course they wanted to jump off the ledge. They was like, yo, who this dude think he talk? It was so crazy. So we took the high road. And we took the high road. And a few days later, that's when Juan Castillo from 94.3 WYBC said, hey, you can come in and do a sports segment on the radio.
That's all right. Yeah.
So from that point on, people was like, okay, I can take them seriously. Now, again, we could have went like him, but I said, nah, we good. We good. But other than that, always showing us love. And it's still people like, yo, don't shoot the messenger. What's up? And stores like, oh, you listen.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
Yeah. Mine, I think she understands that I have a passion for it.
Okay.
And she wants to support that. And then I think like she's very competitive too. So
Oh yeah.
it's like she'll be trying to tell people to watch the show just to see, like, oh, I bet you don't know more than him. And I'll be like, yo, I don't even know who this dude is. Like,
Yeah.
don't have nobody running up on it because they don't get these things. So I think it's just cool, man. I think like Quest said, the support is natural. It feels good. But again, I think our ladies understand our passion, man. Like, again, for me, sports is life. So they get it.
It was and also real quick, I just want to share a story with you, right? So because I think that my brothers, they can compete against anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. When it comes to the sports talk and stuff, like especially like Juan Castillo, he is so amazed that Ruck know the GMs. Like Ruck, I mean, he's like an encyclopedia. He tells everybody, yo, they know their stuff. So people watch. One of the most fascinating stories is we had Tony Rock on here. And Tony Rock, he's an avid boxing fan, which I didn't know at the time. So he comes on. I said, yo, my brother knows boxing. He don't know boxing like I do. I said, yo, I'm telling you, he do. So Tony Rock, again, busy man. He was about to leave. So Chris always answers the phone. I said, he gonna answer. You sure? He got the. I said, yo, he's gonna answer. So of course, like, oh, Chris ain't gonna answer this one time. So when it was about to hang up, Chris answered. I said, yo, Chris, I got somebody I want to talk to you. He said, who? I said, Tony Rock. He said, stop lying. I said, I'm dead serious. And he said, so he named 2 fighters. I forgot who the fighter was. He said, if your man knows boxing, then he'll know what I'm talking about. Mind you, Tony Rock was supposed to leave. They stayed on the phone for 45 minutes talking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, again, there was another time when, Juan, he was trying to test our sports knowledge. He talked to Ruck, and Ruck and Juan was talking for, he was like, yo, I mean, come on, what don't this dude know? So those are the things that I like, because sports, this podcast has brought a lot of attention to us, but it's also made us better people, because I never thought I could run a business. And it is a business.
Right.
So I just love what we're doing, and I hope that we can continue to do it for many, many moons, to come. So
now, where y'all see sports going? I mean, I don't know whether it's technology wise or just the actual competition wise. Where y'all see it going?
Man, I think it's so funny. We were having a conversation yesterday just talking about football and when's the right time to put kids into contact. And I remember I was watching the Pivot podcast and Warren Sapp was on it. He was talking about how, being that he played at a high level, he wouldn't put his son into it until he was in high school. So the discussion that we were having yesterday is that there's so many breakdowns in sports now, from actual training to gameplay to skill development. Like, there's so many other avenues that you could take with sports that, I mean, people, they don't have to play like we did, right? They can have a skill development with a coach for an hour. Like, we would go out in the summer and then go out early in the morning and don't come back until the lights come on. That was our skill development, but now the kids could get it differently. Right. Even when we're talking about gaming and how kids are picking that stuff up now, like, a lot of kids don't play, but they're e-gamers, and that's turned into a business. So I mean, sports is something that can always go anywhere and everywhere. Again, I'll keep repeating it, like, sports is life. And I think a lot of stuff that we see, like even in entertainment and television, like, you could tell where sports is and how powerful it is. Like, think about this. And Quet, me and you was talking about this like a couple of days ago. Like, Ballers has probably been off the air for like 2.5, 3 years, right? But everything in the NFL is what we watched in Ballers. Even down to the XFL, and now them having the first woman as a minority owner. Like, look at the Raiders. The Raiders just hired their first woman as a president, and she's a sister. The Washington Redskins have women in sports. The 49ers. So sports is anywhere and everywhere. So it's different, man. I think it's boundless. I think it'll continue to grow, continue to change. The hope is that we get in terms of some equal footing, and where our pro athletes are paid, because our guys make an absorbent amount of money. Our women need to as well, and definitely just on this platform, want to take a moment to say, like, bring Brittany Grinder home.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's make that happen. That's important for the culture, for the sport. Let's do that.
For me, sports is in a great place, man, because when you look at the marketing aspect, when you look at the money, when you look at the ownership in it, it is really going well. And even kids who are playing for, like, let's just say they only play for 2 years, but these kids are learning about themselves playing sports. When I coached in 2014, 2015, like, I have kids who didn't play, but they still call me coach because of what they learned off the field.
Right.
On the field, which translated to off the field. I'm sorry. And when you look, like you said, when you look at e-gaming, when you look at so many, podcasts that are dedicated to talk about sports, when you look at so many channels and networks, it's kind of like hip hop, where people try to divide it, but it's still in the fabric of what we do. So when, a lot of these old heads say, this ain't like it used to be. And back in the day it was like that, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine because these young players know how to market themselves and make money. And they also know how to make money for their people as well. These NIL deals is going to be the changer. And it's going to be so beautiful because how many times did we see athletes who couldn't make money off their name, image, and likeness? But these athletes are, and they aren't stopping. And, look at what Deion Sanders doing with Jackson State.
Right.
Beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, Deion Sanders would have took the first thing smoking in D1. He would have went to Florida State. But this man is literally putting his money into these programs. He getting other people that didn't go to black colleges to say, hey, I wish I could have went, but the marketing, but the television wasn't there, but now it is. So they're changing the narrative, again, of sports with, one single thing. And it's beautiful because, like, now look at what LeBron did with his friends. Okay, y'all all can't play, right? But you can be, my marketing agent. You could be my manager. You can be a publicist. And a lot of people are doing that. I seen, young kids now, they got their brothers, being their videographer. Now they running their YouTube channel. Now they running their page. It's so, so beautiful. So when you talk about, people say, oh, it ain't like it used to be. That's true, but I think people are smarter. And I'm sure if, you've been a referee, you don't want to see these people get knocked out anymore, on the field, especially young kids. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, let's be real, who talk this stuff about sports ain't the same. A lot of them didn't even play sports. Let's be real. You hear them, they on the sideline, they can do the better job than coach. They can knock everybody out, but they would have never played sports, and they never played sports. So I think sports is headed in the right direction, safer, and as years come on, we're gonna love it. We're gonna be like, wow, like, look how far it came. You know what I mean? So beautiful. Shouts. And also look at the Olympics. They got breakdancing in the Olympics. So it's great, dope.
Nah, definitely, man. And you mentioned them NILs. I think I just saw recently high school, Dewan Wagner's kid. I think he just cops something through Drake, something with Drake here. So I mean, and it's crazy. He about to be a senior in high school and all that. And then you mentioned the women as well too. This past weekend, it was interesting. My little one had chili in practice, but on the same field, there's actually a girls' flag football league.
Heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, so I actually got to talk to the guy that oversees it. So I know they're trying to do that and then take it to the high school level. In Jersey, I hate to big up Jersey, but Jersey, I know they got high school. They actually started the high school league as far as with girls flag football. So
that's dope.
So I know that's starting to expand as well too, as far as women getting their just due as well. I mean, they could play as well too. So
I love it.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna snatch you guys for a little bit here, man. Had some fun on the back end here. I know you've seen a couple of these, man. I'm just throw some random stuff out here. I didn't know what to ask you guys, so I might I might freestyle a couple of things here, but it's all good. It's all good here. Being we in Connecticut, so I'll keep some things Connecticut here. 95 or the Merit?
Well, like, what's the best or worst?
Whatever you define, or however you.
95 is the worst. 95 is the worst because once you get to exit 42, oh my God, I don't understand. It's like 8 lanes and it's still traffic.
Nah, nah. Look, I'm gonna give you mine. Boston Post Road. How about that?
Boston Post
I
Road.
ain't, I ain't taking neither one of them. Listen, both of them is horrible, but I will take 95 over the Merit any day.
I know.
Favorite sport to play?
It's easy for me. Basketball.
Basketball. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say my favorite to play is baseball. Like I love football, but I love to play baseball. Even though like I suck. You know how it's somebody that's on the field and they talk junk, and because they talk junk, they kind of nice because you're like, yo, I know they ain't that fast or they ain't that. That's me. Like I'm always chirping. I'm like Gary Payton. I'm always chirping. So that kind of helped me.
Oh, yeah, so you just annoy people after a while.
So after a while, people start dropping balls. They start missing, and then at the end of the game,
he's the professional instigator. He ain't the professional son.
Yeah,
oh, that's funny.
That's me. I love it.
Cool. I might be dating y'all a little bit here. Block party or the club?
Block party. Jersey block party in a minute.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we had a few block parties, but some things will happen. Now I'm gonna go block party because everybody out there, and there's no fire marshal shutting it down. So plus the food is good, the women cute. Back in the day, back long time.
Yeah, long. That Bernie Mac, long time ago. Long time ago. Yeah. Power snowfall.
Snowfall.
Man. Yeah, I'm gonna go with snowfall too, yo.
Bye. Yeah.
It's like because power was serious.
Buy a snowflake.
By snowflake. There we go.
yeah.
Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Yeah. I love Twitter though, but I'm just so used to Facebook.
No, I don't tweet.
Yeah.
no Twitter fingers.
No Twitter fingers.
But I got a mean quote for you on Facebook though all day. Hey.
Instagram too. Ruck love Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what? Swing over to sports again here. I know you guys played up to a certain point here. Do y'all remember like at any level, any sport, like the best game you ever played?
Ruck, what's that? 58. You always said about 1958.
Yeah. I'm the old dude. So
yeah.
Now I would say two stick out for me. Mountain Lakes.
Okay.
Was a great game for me. I think that game that I'm thinking about, I had at least like 2 or 3 sacks, like a fumble pickup or something like that. Like that was a great game. And then I feel like all of the Glen Ridge games was great for me. I feel like I always did work against them because Deli Mackle would talk a whole bunch of junk.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, remember you on the nose. So I'm going to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love those.
One of my favorite games was against 2 teams. It's team Windsor Locks.
Was it like
Windsor Locks? And I remember my freshman year, they had food poisoning. So
wait. They food poisoned y'all?
Yeah. So they was like, oh, eat these hot dogs. So I thought I was the only one sick. Came back, my principal like, don't worry, more than half the team was sick. I was like, it was food poisoning. So yeah. So my sophomore year, we killed them 52-0. But I'll never forget. That was when they came, but we went to Windsor Locks, and I mean, like I said, I play offensive line, but I don't know how they were stacked up. Again, I didn't see it in the game, it was during film. I had 3 pancakes in one because the linebacker was stacked between the D line and the safety. I don't know why he was stacked up that close to the freaking linebacker, and I just, bold dude. I mean, again, I don't know if to do with special needs or what, but I was going off. And then the middle linebacker tried to catch him, and then the safety didn't. It was 3. Yeah, I'm telling you, after a while, like I kept helping the dude up.
Yo, man, you know this on tape, right?
I know, but that's equal opportunity because they was helping him out, and he did good. But we still whooped him. And then my junior year, we played against this team Morgan and Clinton. And at the time, they were talking crazy junk. And one of my coach's son played. So for that pet rally, he had asked for like a high shirt so they could, do all this pet rally stuff. So his son was in front of me the whole game. and I hit the dude so hard, and my face mask fell off.
Mm.
And I'll never forget. And we crushed him. And I thought that my face fell off. You know how you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, but that's how hard I hit him. Those 2 games I remember. It was more, but I remember those as a lineman when like my coach who never get props was like, good job.
Mm-hmm.
Even his father was like, that's how you take care of business.
That's right. That's right. Best teams you ever been on?
Man. 94 Lions.
Okay.
The best
Lions.
The best team I've ever been on. Okay, so the 2000 team was the best, but my 2002 team with like Chris was the star running back. Like that was one of the best teams that we never won a championship. Because now we were in the paper. We were in the paper at that time, so we had like a dagger on our back. That was one of the best teams I ever played. But I'm gonna have to go with that 2000 team. Because it was just talent all over it was talent all over.
Yeah.
Mm. All right. I know you guys sports guys here, so we're just your top 5 athletes, professional athletes ever.
Mm. Mm.
I'm saying I probably had the discussion already, so
man. So it's gonna seem crazy because
I give you if it's tough, you want to just do 3, you can do 3.
I can do 5.
Nah,
Okay.
I got 5. I definitely go ahead, quick. I already know where you going.
LeBron James.
Okay.
Okay. Deion Sanders.
Mm.
Wayne Gretzky. And I know people don't look at that.
Mm.
Who else? I'm gonna have to go Jim Brown.
Mm.
There's so many. Another one is Bo Jackson.
Whoa.
Wow, you wildin'.
Bo Jackson.
You wildin'.
Oh,
but it's all right though. It's all right. I'm gonna let you live on that. So I'm gonna go. It's gonna be Muhammad Ali.
Oh yeah.
Definitely gonna go with Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
I'm joking.
I'm gonna go with Reggie White.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely gonna go. I'm gonna go, and this is crazy, but I just feel like this, right? And even though I never liked the team, Darryl Strawberry was special, yo.
Mm-hmm.
That was
6 Mets.
That was a special dude, right? And I'm a diehard Yankee fan right now.
Yeah, some special stuff he was taking.
Then so what I got 4.
He ain't hear me, Ib.
Nah, I didn't hear you.
Nah, I don't be listening to you like that, yo. I don't be listening to you. Let's see. Who's the last one? Yo, the last one I'm gonna go with is never football. I'm gonna go Ray Lewis.
Ray. Nah, keep it local for you guys. You're both states here. Best Connecticut athlete you seen?
Will Collins.
Will Collins. He went to, that's not the one that went to Clemson. Not Clemson. No. Okay.
He should have gone to some school. He was on that 2000 team. He was a natural athlete. Like, so when we did track, he never did high jump. He jumped 6'6".
Okay.
He could jump out the gym.
Wow.
He was like the first tall cornerback, 6'3". Mm-hmm. And again, because we were a small school and because at the time, nobody didn't know how to market. He was, even now, he's like a bodybuilder, dude. I mean, even now, this dude's jacked. Will Collins was one of the, he was like, it was star-studded. Like, how people talk about people in practice.
Yeah.
If you saw him, you would have been like amazed. You would have been amazed. Now, because he's not here, right? And I gotta defend my dude. So we had a dude named James Nixon. James Nixon, he played for high, but he went to the NFL.
Okay.
And I asked him this question. And he also put it on Facebook. Now, mind you, he played in college and NFL, prep school. The question was, who was the best athlete you ever seen? Right? Everybody said Aaron Rodgers. Nope. They naming names. He said Chris Gay. I said, yo, stop playing, man. I said stop. He said Chris Gay is the best athlete I ever seen.
That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On Facebook, people arguing. He said, yo, but Aaron Rodgers. He said, nah, Chris. He said if Chris Gay could have went to school, he would have made the NFL. I promise you that. So I just had to big my boy up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely big up Chris Gay. For For me, the easiestly,
And he making words up easily. So go ahead.
easily, I gotta do that because yo, for real, like this dude, it's no way to put what I saw into words. But in high school, Tim Thomas was
Tim? Yeah.
It's no way to put into words what you saw him do. And against all levels of competition, you're talking about. I mean, seeing the game against him and Rice in Madison Square Garden, and him, Felipe, and this is a young Tim dominating the game. So Tim is by far that I've seen it. Well, no, I'm sorry that I've actually seen in real life. In real life, saw him, touched him, Iverson when I was at Hampton University.
Okay.
Seeing him on the court at our school, him and Ronald Curry. So quick story. So this is 97. So I think it's probably Iverson's rookie year. Comes back to Hampton in summer, everything, right? So at this point, Ronald Curry is the guy in Hampton, Virginia, right? He went to Hampton High, heavily recruited by North Carolina. Everybody knows he's two sports star.
Right.
They come on our campus, and Curry decides that he wants to challenge Iverson. 1-on-1. So they say we playing game 10. Every point is 100. Curry hits the first 2 baskets. He's talking jump. So what people don't know, what people do know, they heard the stories that in Virginia, everybody calls Iverson Bubba Chuck. So all you heard was, all right, Chuck, get him. 13-2.
Yeah.
13-2. And then all you heard him saying was, go get my money. This month. I said, hey, that little dude was something crazy.
So fun fact, and I'm sure you know, if AI got a CT connection. So
up here, I think Quran, right?
Yeah, well, so he would have been born in Hartford, but his mom, she was young at the time. They shipped her to Virginia.
Okay.
So his father, his family is from up here. So he would have been born up here. I think his mom was like a few months pregnant, and they shipped her down to VA. So yeah, so he definitely. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, VA talent different, but you know, I would like to tell people that he always say that he got that connection to CT. But yeah.
No, definitely. Somebody at any level, you could think about any level, but somebody who should have made it. However you define made it.
Oh man. Bobby Moore.
Bobby.
B.O. Like I said, even if you a young kid, old, everybody know who B.O. is. And again, because it wasn't like a lot of YouTube around, and it wasn't a lot of people that say, hey, let me help you out. And you know, back then, you know, if sports were different. It was like, yo, if you can't help me right now, if you got attitude, I don't got time for it. You know, I think people are a little more, a little more patient. But I mean, he was ranked up there with, some of the greats in high school. Baron Davis. So had he, had that person to say, hey, nah, just keep going, or I think he would have been there.
For me, so I got a couple, but I'm gonna keep it orange first. For me, DeVal Simmons.
Okay.
First that I say, he was special in terms of his height and his ability, but I think he was the glue to those orange teams.
Okay.
Right? Because I just think he was special. The last two were people I played with. I'll say this. Gil Ross and Omar Cheeseborough, people that they had it, whatever it was, like they had it, and they were guys that I could see at the next level. So I definitely, and of course my little big brother Troy Austin. So definitely put it out there.
3. Nah, cool. Let me ask, man, when he's the mic is down and production stops here, man, what do you guys do? What other interests you guys have?
I love to stream on Twitch. I love to play video games.
Okay.
I love it.
You don't answer none of my comments up there neither. I'm about to.
Yeah, I don't be seeing you. Yo, I don't be seeing you commenting. No, you don't. I'll be checking back. Nobody comment, but it's on record. Now I gotta check. Make sure that I check my brother comment.
Okay.
But yeah, twitching. Twitching. like I started like reading now. Like I was never an avid reader,
Mhm.
but I'm forcing myself to read. I think I read like 4 books this year, and
Mm.
I said I was only going to read 2, and I read 4. So and I got more. So reading and video gaming.
Okay.
For me, it's easy. Dad time, daddy duty is
Mhm.
the number one pastime for me. And then, you know, I want to try my hand at motivational speaking.
Okay.
So that's been a big passion of mine over the last couple of years.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely daddy duty, a number one.
All right. Nah, definitely. Maybe. What's the best part about being you? That's to each of you guys. What's the best part about being you?
I let Ruck go.
Man, that I want to get better. Um, and I say one of the best parts about me, I feel like, is the pride that I have and where I come from, and
Mhm.
the people that help raise me. Like I care about how I push the legacy for them.
For me, it's being authentic.
Yeah.
You know, I like what I like. You know, some people they like to be with the crowd, but for me, man, like I'm goofy, silly, I'm nerdy, and I just am who I am. Like I'm a stand-up guy. Like you know, that's again coming from where we from. Like that
Mhm.
means a lot. You know, you being a clown and trying to be something that you're not. That's only gonna go for so long. But people that know me, they respect me because I will always be Marquette. Like I'll never be nobody else, and I'm easy to get along with, and I just love where I came from, and it helped me become the man I am today.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm from Newark, so you know it's a little different. I'm just
Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. You better take that back to Avon Street.
Avon
Yeah,
Street.
all right.
That's funny. That's funny. That's
Yo,
funny.
if he did that for like the first 2 years of knowing me, right? Like every day at work, he would just say that, and I'm like, yo, you know, he ain't really like he messed that up in the movie. That's
Yeah,
not
New
real.
Jersey Drive. I know what you're talking
Yo,
about.
Yeah,
when he
like-
broke it down to me, I was like, so you know, again, when it came out in '95, I was like, take that. I don't want cursing your show.
Man, whatever.
And then you know, I was like, take that back to Avon back. So I'm saying that, and he was so of course he was laughing. And he
I'm
was
like, yo, come on,
he
man.
said, yo, let me tell you. He said, yo, you know he messed that up, right? I said, what you mean? He said, it's not Avon Street, it's Avon Ave.
Yeah.
I said, where? He said, then he told me about Avon Ave. He's like, that's like somebody calling Dixwell Avenue, Dixwell Street. I said, oh no, that's a no-no.
That's a
No-no.
Yeah. Mhm.
So like I said, we bonded since then. But yeah, you know, take that back to Avon Street.
Avon. Yeah. Somebody should jump on him right on the set.
Yeah, right.
Why didn't they? Why didn't they? What's going on? You can't do that.
Yeah,
Yo, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Cause you said that here. You was real quiet when y'all was in Jersey though. When y'all was in Newark, what happened? Y'all was like, yo, we going in there? Yeah.
Hey, listen. Yes, I did lock my door. You daggone right. But I'm saying, why didn't nobody check Heavy D on set? Like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, something right.
Come on, like that's like somebody coming to New Haven. Like, yeah, you know.
Listen, I don't know if y'all know, but Heavy was that dude back in the day.
Now,
like,
Heavy D was that dude. Like I said, like I respect Heavy D. He used to come to Haven all the time. Actually, you know, what's so tragic, and he stopped coming because his brother got killed in New Haven.
Mm-hmm.
So he stopped coming to New Haven a lot. But I know he was that dude. But out of respect though, like that's like somebody's from like the Bronx saying, yo, this is Fordham Street. Nah, man.
Right.
Fordham Road. Come on.
Right. Nah. Absolutely, man. That's what 3 of the best moments of y'all life so far. Y'all got a whole lot more living to do, but up to this point, what's 3 of the best moments?
Oh man. I'm saying that time I went to Miami. I'm just joking.
No, you're probably right.
That's a family show. Let me see. Having my kids, you know, definitely, you know, being a father was one of the best things. So many. Graduating and getting my master's and my license. Like,
okay.
You know, again, because I thought I was just doing it for me, but there was a lot of people, that I end up touching that was like, yo, this is what's up. And also at the time, you know, God bless her dad. My mom, she started going to school because I went back to school. You know what I'm saying? That's one of them. And starting my podcast. And I know people like, oh, well, you biased. Nah, let me just tell you why, right? When I started my podcast, I said, wow, if I could do this, and I can learn how to drive stick. Bought a stick, drove stick. If I could drive stick, then I can go back to school. Oh, okay, cool. If I can go back to school, I can buy me a house. So on and so on. So having a podcast helped me, like really give me that passion to do things. Also, being on the radio, because I love DSTM so much, I just wanted to just get our name out there. I was like, yo, whatever I need to do. And Juan was like, yo, come on the show.
Yeah.
Because the podcast, I was like, yo, whatever I got to do for the podcast, like that's how much I was doing. And again, I had Ruck. He would tell me because I was so passionate. He said, yo, man, we can't be doing free stuff no more. Like, I know you want to, but it was like sometimes like, yo, listen, that dude ain't for us. Yo, we can't. Yo, you got to say no. But the podcast, those three things: going to school, podcast, and my kids. And now,
so for me, definitely my son. And I talk about this all the time. I think my experience going to a black college, the black college, Hampton University, definitely the easiest. And I would say finding a passion in something other than sports. So now working in human services, something I never thought I would do. Especially when I got here to Connecticut, I used to argue with my grandmother all the time. Like, I'm not being a teacher. Like, I used to wow in school. Like, I would get my work done, but I was a class clown for sure. But finding that, like, that has enriched my life, and it's allowed me to share lessons from sports to kids.
Yeah.
So, and adults, like, crazily, but yeah. So those three things: my son, Hampton University, and my passion and work now.
And by the way, Ruck was my first supervisor in this field.
Okay.
He was my first supervisor, and he taught me everything. And he's the reason why, like, I'm in this field because of him.
You ain't never signed none of them write-ups though.
Nah, listen, I ain't had to.
None of them.
I never got in trouble. He's stupid.
Yeah, nah, that's funny, man. Book on your life. What would you call it?
Oh man.
The Rucker Report.
There we go. Okay.
Tomorrow never comes too soon. Tomorrow never comes too soon. Because every day, you're learning something every single day. So it don't come soon enough so you can continue to learn and retain all that stuff. So
yeah. Now, the ages you guys are now, what advice would you get at that 17-year-old or 18-year-old senior in high school you? What advice would you give?
Man, that's crazy because it's so much.
GTD.
So.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Yo, this dude. Now you gotta go first, man. Go ahead.
Nah, I already said it. Nah,
I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Yo, go ahead, Rock. Go ahead. Oh my God.
Yo. So I think the first piece of advice I'll probably give myself is don't sell yourself short. You're just as special as everybody else.
That's right.
I'll give my younger self, don't stop. It's gonna work out. Because I was so worried about everything. And, like I said, home life wasn't the best, but it was good. You know what I mean? I thank the Most High for that. But just keep going. And like Ruck said, because, when you were a kid, like, is this going to work? Then I had a kid at 18. So I was like really timid. But I was really strict on myself. Like I said, I was going to go to the NFL or I was going to get a scholarship somewhere. So, and I'll tell myself that it's going to work out. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Well, don't shoot the messenger. What we got going on soon to come on that end?
So we have some NFL division breakdowns. We're going to give our prediction on who's going to win. and who's going to be a surprise teams.
Okay.
So we got a whole 4 weeks of that coming up. Just
Yeah.
great predictions and talking about that. So it's going to be interesting because I always love to see what Chris and Ruck is going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we all agree on a lot, but it's always something that's small, but it turns to big that we disagree on, and not in a bad way. So that's why I love that. So yeah, so that's what we got coming.
Now, are you still on the radio or?
So I'm not on the radio, but I still am connected to the radio station.
Okay.
So a lot of times people hit me up and say, yo, I got this thing I want to, talk about. I got this. So because I have a good connection, I'll link them to that.
Okay.
And so always try to be the eyes and ears for the station. So I still love my 94.3 WYBC family.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, like I said right from the door, I just wanted to thank you guys again, just for just shooting the breeze right now, just conversating, just chopping it up or whatever the case may be. But thank you for just being like, Ed, just do it and figure it out as you go. And that's kind of what I've done and continue to do here. Like I said, if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all on this right now. So I just want to say thank you. I truly, truly, truly do mean that.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate. Yeah. I had seen a picture with you. I was like, dang, that was so long ago. It didn't feel that long ago. But
yeah. And when you mentioned 2015, you started.
Yeah.
You guys start. Wow. Yeah. Time goes, man. Time goes. So I look forward to seeing what I got coming up because I'm sure it's gonna be something. I mean, as far as just staying consistent with all of this and just seeing where everything goes, whatever y'all plan is, man. Like I said, got my support 1,010%, man. So thank you.
Thank you.
Man. Thank you.
So I'll be in touch one way or another, fellas.
All right, man.
All right, no doubt. We'll talk.
Peace.
All right, peace,
fellas. Good stuff. I truly, truly, truly enjoy these guys. Professional Sutton and Rucker Report here. I thank you guys, man, because like I said, without y'all, like I said, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this here. So I really appreciate the push and just the energy you guys just bring with the stuff that you guys do. Great fathers, men, husbands. Let's not forget that. With that being said, I'm just going to step away. I put my hand over my heart. That means I feel you. Yeah.